Today's lesson is on percentages. You will need a pencil and some paper. What we're learning to do is find percentages of numbers or quantities, including those in word problems. So percent means out of 100. So the whole thing is 100%. Half of that would be 50%. And our circle here at the end looks like almost all of it is complete, but 5% is missing, leaving 95% of the circle. Out of 100 small squares, how many are coloured? Well, a quick count, they're in rows of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 50 out of 100 are coloured in, so we have 50% coloured in, because remember, percentage is out of 100. On this grid, we have one row of 10 coloured in, so we've got 10 out of 100 coloured in, making 10% being coloured. On this one, we've only got the 5 squares coloured in, so 5 out of 100, making 5% being coloured. And in this grid, we have 1, 2, 3 rows of 10 are coloured, which is 30. So 30 out of 100 is 30%. On this grid, if we go counting tens again, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 1, 2, 3. So 83 out of 100 are coloured, leaving 83% coloured in. This slide has 4 questions, as you can see, numbered 1 to 4. So on your piece of paper, using your pencil, now is your chance to write down your 4 answers. You may wish to pause the video at this point. Okay, so let's work through our 4 answers. Number 1, we can see that there are 18 squares coloured in, so that's 18 out of the 100, leaving 18% as our answer. On number 2, we have a quick count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 complete rows of 10 plus the 2. So 62 out of the 100. So it's 62%. Number 3, there are in groups of 5, as we can see. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Out of 100, 25%. And our last one, again, we can count in tens first. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then we've got some 6s. So 62, 4, 6, 8, 10, 70, 72 out of 100, giving us our answer of 72%. Okay, on this slide, we have to write each fraction as a percentage. As you can see, each fraction is already over 100, so it's pretty easy to convert each. Just got our 24%, 6 over 100, 6%, 56 out of 100, 56%, 40 over 100, 40%, and 33 over 100, 33%. On this slide, we have to write each percentage as a fraction. We have to write it in hundredths and then in tenths. So my 90% becomes 90 over 100. Then we have to find a smaller equivalent fraction, so we're putting it into tenths. So to get from 100 to 10, I've divided it by 10. So I have to do the same to the top. I have to divide that also by 10. It can be 9 tenths. My 50, so 50 over 100. Again, we're turning it into tenths next. So to get from 100 down to 10, I've divided it by 10. So I must do the same to the top. It gives me 5 over 10, 5 tenths. My 60%, so 60 over 100. And again, I'm sure we know what to do by now. We're turning it into tenths, so I divide the bottom by 10. I divide the top by 10 to get my 6 tenths. And my 40%, 40 over 100. Turning it into tenths, simply 4 tenths. With the 4 questions below, we have to write each percentage as a fraction. Write each of them in hundredths, then a smaller equivalent fraction if possible. So my first one, 58% is 58 over 100. Now we can reduce that down and make it a smaller equivalent fraction. So I'm going to divide the bottom by 2 to give me 50. And I have to divide the top by 2. So 2 into 5 goes twice, with 1 over. 2 into the 18, 29 over 50, 29 fiftieths. 75%, so 75 over 100. Then I'm looking for a number that divides into the top, which is our 75, and a number that also divides into the 100. And in this occasion, 25 works best. So 25 into 100 goes 4 times. 25 into 75 goes 3 times. Next, my 14%, so 14 over 100. Pretty straightforward one. They're both even numbers, so I'll divide both by 2. Divide the bottom by 2 to give me 50. Divide the top by 2 to give me 7. And my last one of 2%, 2 over 100. Again, both even numbers, so I'll divide both by 2. Bottom becomes 50, and divide the top by 2 becomes 1. On this question, we're asked to work out what percent of the shape is shaded. Well, my shape has 4 pieces, and one of them is shaded red. So we need to turn that into 100ths, so as we can work out a percentage. So from 4 to 100, I've times it by 25. So I must do the same to the top, times it by 25 to get 25 100ths. We know that's an easy conversion of 25%. In this question, we need to work out how much of the shape is shaded blue and write the answer as a percentage. A little bit trickier this time. There are 10 parts of the shape, 2 are blue, must turn that into 100ths. So to get from 10 to 100, I've times it by 10. So I have to do the same to my top line to give me 20 over 100. And again, an easy conversion then, just 20% of it is shaded blue. My next shape, I can see that there are 4 of them are now blue. So there are 4 blue and there are 10 pieces altogether. Again, we turn it into 100ths first. Nice easy one. We've multiplied the bottom and the top both by 10, giving me 40% is blue. This shape again has 10 pieces. 3 of them in this occasion are purple. We turn that into 100ths first. Multiply the bottom by 10. Do the same to the top. 30 100ths, just simply 30%. My next shape, I have to work out how much of it is shaded green. Well, we have 5 pieces in our shape altogether. 2 of them are green. Now, I'm going to turn it first into tenths, because it's pretty easy to work with. 5, I've just times it by 2 to get to 10. I'll do the same to the top, times it by 2. So now I've got 4 tenths. That's an easy conversion to make it into 100ths. So I times the bottom by 10. Do the same to the top. So we end up with 40 100ths, which is 40% of our shape is green. Using your pencil and paper, I'd now like you to match up each of the percentage to the fraction. Okay, you may choose to pause the video at this point. Right, let's go through the answers now. We'll begin with the easy ones. 50% is just simply 1/2. 70%, 7 tenths. My 25% is 1/4. 3 of those, 3 25s, so 3/4 for 75%. My last one, 60%, is 3/5. In these questions, we have to turn each of the fractions into a percentage. First off, I need to turn each of them into 100ths. So to get from 20 to 100, I times it by 5. I must do the same to the top, so I have to multiply my 17 by 5, which is 85. So my answer is 85%. My next one, again turn it into 100ths first. To get from 10 to 100, you times it by 10. So you have to do the same to your top line, times that by 10, which gives me 30 over 100, which is 30%. Third one, so to get from 5 to 100, I multiply it by 20. So I must do the same to the top, multiply it by 20. 4 20s are 80, give me 80 over 100, 80%. My final one, again turn it into 100ths first. To get from 20 to 100, I times it by 5. So I must do the same to the top, times my 12 by 5 gives me 60. 60 over 100 is 60%. To work out the percentage of a number or a quantity, it's important that we know what the percentage is as a fraction. So for instance, with my 25%, you can quite clearly see it is 1/4, 25%. If we have 2 of the 25s, making 50%, which is 1/2. So if I were looking to find 25% of a number, I would find 1/4 of it. If I want to find 50% of a number, I would find 1/2 of it. Nice easy question for us here. The hat costs £10. In the sale there's 50% off. Well, 50% is 1/2. So I need to find half of 10, which is my £5. So the hat was £10. There's £5 off. The hat's now £5 in the sale. This hat is £6. Again, 50% off. 50% is 1/2. So we have to find half of the £6. So we just divide it by 2. Gives us £3. The hat was £6. There's £3 off. The hat in the sale is now £3. The t-shirt costs £8. There's 25% off. 25% is 1/4 as a fraction. So we need to find 1/4 of £8 to find out how much is taken off the price. We simply just divide the 8 by 4. So 4 into 8 goes twice. So the original price was £8. There's £2 off. The new price of the t-shirt then is £6. If it helps to see that visually, the price of the whole thing was £8. We've just worked out that 1/4 of it is 2, each quarter being the same size. So they were taking away the cost of 1/4, which was 25%, leaving us the £6. Okay, each of the 4 items shown has been knocked down by 50% in a sale. So 50% is 1/2. So we're taking off 1/2 of each price. So half of the £4 is £2. So the new price is £2. Half of 70, we can do a division step question. 2 into the 7 goes 3 times, 1 left over. 2 into 10 goes 5, so the new price is 35p. My £50 FIFA game, again if we do a division question to work out what 50% is, so we divide it by 2. 2 into the 5 goes twice, 1 left over. 2 into 10 is 25, so the new price is £25. My paintbrush cost 90p. We have to find half of it because half is 50%. 2 into 90, so 2 into 9 goes 4 times. 1 left over. 2 into 10 is 5. The new price is 45p.